correct. I wish I could say, I wish I could continue in Spanish, but that's the only words I can learn. A few minutes before entering the classroom, I learned from the staff how to say in Spanish this word. And he told me about that. Unfortunately, it is true that normatively, every conflict potential should be put on the table and will be solved through ASEAN way. That's the norm. But the current situation shows that the girls in the South China Sea are getting naughtier. So many countries no longer comply with all kinds of these rules. And instead, they're violating against the norms. Here you can see that especially, in fact, before emphasizing on the PRCs, military maneuver, in fact, among ASEAN countries, there exists potential conflicts among ASEAN countries, as also has been told by my colleague, between Indonesia and Malaysia, between the Philippines and Malaysia, and so on and so forth. For example, this is an example of a Coast Guard, Chinese Coast Guard, which goes sails not only around the coast, but also to the other country's coast. That's why the neighboring countries, surrounding countries to the China Sea, are now getting alert to every dynamics in the South China Sea. Let's come next. This is an example. This is our preparations, Indonesia's preparations in Natuna Air Base, which lastly has been visited by our president twice. As you see that there are potential conflicts there. The Paracels, Spratly Islands has been claimed by many countries surrounding, by Vietnam, the Philippines, Brunei, Malaysia, China especially, and also the Philippines. But the way we are trying to solve the problem still is not in accordance one to another. Indonesia, for example, tends to prefer to keep alert to every dynamics, but the Philippines take a different way. The Philippines tends to be more friendly, or tends to approach China rather than keep distance from the China. So what can be offered? What can be offered to solve this kind of problem? Because basically, we have to be very, very careful in handling this dispute, or otherwise we'll be trapped in the war, which we are worried about. And the prospect of doing this, of handling this kind of problem, is positively possible, because basically we have something in common. We have something in common between the countries. So there is room for us to make cooperation in combating this kind of problems. So my alternative here is not establishing a military pact or blaming any country, but promoting them to go hand in hand combating our common enemy, stupidity and reaction like that. Next, please. This is serious because basically we believe that war can be predicted. When, where, how, it can be predicted. But consequence of war never can be calculated. So I would rather take a statement by Franklin to Roosevelt to be our ideology. So I believe this might be good solutions to the escalating situations in the South China Sea. And the alternative is this. Once we agree to that point, we can go hand in hand, join together, launching a program of combating our common enemy. That's stupidity, poverty, something like that. That's the point I make. Promoting cooperation, promoting shared education among countries, especially the developed countries like in Asia, like Singapore, Korea, Japan, is quite good thing to be promoted towards peaceful and democratic ASEAN countries in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's really a pleasure to come here. Thank you so much for sharing. Well, I have two quick questions, and I guess it's addressed to any of you. You talked as the European Union as a role model to Asian countries, which I think is true. But on the other hand, I don't know if you feel the pulse of European crisis at this time. So I really wonder what's your take on European crisis and how do you feel that in terms of Europe as a model? And then second, you talk about these disputes when it comes to the Chinese Sea as a place where gas, oil, and like as a bridge for that. My question is, do you really think if we change to renewable energies, all these disputes will fade away? So, yeah, I don't know.
Any other questions? So we may wrap in. You?
Yes, I want to ask how is the relationship between the Chinese people and the Indonesian people, apart from the relationship, the political relationship, the people, do they get along with each other?
People to people contact with you?
Yes, do they have a lot of exchange, culture exchange?
You mean Indonesian citizen with Chinese heritage, Chinese language? And Indonesian Chinese people in Indonesia?
Yes.
The relation between
culture, like they exchange students, they travel to each other to the country.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Then next, any others? If none, I can answer one by one. Okay, I hope I can answer your question. Very good question. Yes, I told you, the EU is our model on integration, regional integration. EU and ASEAN is two regional organizations that was very successful. When you have crisis, we in Indonesia, in ASEAN, we also faced crisis in 1998. Your crisis was in 2008 up to now, maybe still they are shadowing the EU's development. In Asia, Thailand, Indonesia, at that time, we also faced economic crisis. And we came up also with ideas, initiatives, yet to come up with the single currency, but we created fund also, ASEAN Common Fund, and also now for the connectivity, that we should also strengthen ASEAN spirit on the connectivity. We established the Asian Infrastructure and Investment Fund because it is important to have before we face crisis. But we passed already the crisis. And one of our lecturers from University of Indonesia annually give lecture in Complutense Faculty of Economy because we want to learn each other. When we Indonesia succeeded in overcoming our economical crisis, we faced economic crisis in 1998, and now we are member already since 2008 of the G20, while at that time Spain and Europeans still face economical crisis. We are not copying your solutions.
I didn't mean economic crisis. Sorry, I guess I didn't rephrase my question. I'm talking about a crisis of identity, a crisis of values. Countries such as the UK are withdrawing, like we have the Brexit. I meant that kind of crisis.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean economic crisis.
All right.
I'm talking about as a model of integration. So since it's pretty much disintegrated, and there are countries such as Portugal, UK, Italy, Greece. They're talking about withdrawing. So that's what I meant. Sorry, I didn't. I wasn't clear.
Thank you to remind. Well, your experience on Brexit also give us also recall us on the importance of strengthening the integration process. That's why it is also a real challenge of all the regional integration, not only in the EU, but also in ASEAN. We hope that we will not have such a Brexit in ASEAN, because we have also problem in ASEAN. Like Ibu Siti said, we have also potential hotspot problems in the South China Sea. We have also before refugees problem of Vietnamese refugees. We have also refugees from Cambodia. We have also refugees from Rohingya in Myanmar. We have also border disputes. So we don't put all the issues under the carpet. We discuss it openly, frankly, based on our root-based approaches in the ARF that we introduced, ASEAN Regional Forum. So we really learn from your experience, and we try also to find the best way. As Ibu Siti mentioned, our ASEAN best way is non-interference principles. That's why we have also the political document, which is important, like Treaty of Amity and Cooperation. So we put the amity and cooperation approaches in finding any political solution. We hope we will not have Brexit. We hope. Even we are still working on that, and we review all the consolidation process of ASEAN community integration. This is from my side. Maybe Ibu will also answer, and Pak Luqman will also answer. On the dispute, as you mentioned, and maybe Ibu mentioned, I should also inform you. On the South China Sea, yes, it is hotspot. But Indonesia, we are not claimant. As ambassador, I should say, we are not claimant. Indonesia is not claimant state of the South China Sea, and Indonesia is a modest broker, because since 1992, Indonesia proposed a workshop on the South China Sea, annual workshop. All claimant state and non-claimant state may participate in the workshop. And the progress of the workshop, we issued already declaration on the cooperation in the South China Sea. And we also sponsoring the ASEAN declaration on the code of conduct of the parties to the South China Sea. So there are code of conduct of the parties in the South China Sea, whether they are claimants or non-claimants, for those who are interested to organize any cooperation in the South China Sea, because there are potential cooperation in the South China Sea on research, such as on research of biodiversity. It is very rich biodiversity. So we are organizing research through our ship for the research. So Indonesia is a model brokers on this. That's our contribution. And then by having frequent meetings from the workshop to the working groups, all the claimants and non-claimants, they may meet and discuss. Even the Chinese side, I know very well the chief negotiator of Chinese delegation. They said that this workshop contribute greatly for the confidence building between those claimant states. They may sit, discuss, and talk together on the common interest of developing the South China Sea cooperation, something like that. So this is the interest of Indonesia to create dialogue and peaceful solution to the potential dispute. For Indonesia and China people-to-people cooperations were backdated since long time ago, since I think in the 7th century. We have already contacted from trading with the Chinese kingdoms, and then nowadays China is the biggest number 2 of importer and tradings, Indonesian tradings, and investment. Number 2. So number 1 is Japan, invest in Indonesia, and number 2 is China. Trading, we have already Indonesia and China free trade, so which is based on our mutual trust. While on people to people, we have also allocate scholarship from your government and from our government for your students and for our students. So there are also what we call it art center, Chinese art center in Indonesia. We celebrate also your New Year's. So there are many festivals with dragon with all the red colors throughout Indonesia. We declare as our holidays of your New Year's, Chinese New Year's. And then we have also one thing, good cooperation. Even the Chinese colleagues in Beijing, when we introduce interfaith dialogue among faiths under the Asia-Europe process, and China became one of the sponsors as well as Spain. And Chinese government said that I do appreciate Indonesia because you recognize Konghucu as religion because it is interfaith dialogue. While for Chinese, Konghucu is philosophy of life. So that meaning that we really respect your philosophy, become our also philosophy. So I hope there is no any distrust between Chinese populations and Indonesia. Chinese population in Indonesia is 18% of our 263 million. So 80% of them are Chinese. This is from me and Ibu Siti.
Okay. Thank you so much. What's your name, please?
My name?
Yeah.
Shiana.
Shiana. Yeah. Thank you so much for your question. First of all, I would like to answer the first question about European Union as a role model of ASEAN. Yes, we have learned a lot from the process of integration of European Union. You know that the integration is step-by-step development of integration. For example, you pass first when Europe introduced European Coal and Steel Community in 1951, that is a trade liberation. And then afterward is Custom Union when you introduce European Economic Community, and then Euratom, and then European Atomic Energy Community, and then they join together to be European Community, right? So in that step, we call it common market. And then you introduce single market, and then full economic integration. So that, to be united or to be integrated should be step by step. So the people will prepare to be integrated, because to be integrated is not easy. And then you introduce also economic integration, and afterwards political integration by introducing Paris Treaty, and you are bounded by treaty. That's what learned from European Union. You know that you are bound by Treaty of Rome, Treaty of Paris, Treaty of Maastricht, Lisbon, Schengen. Yeah, this is that's every state should comply with this treaty. So that's why the people of the states also comply to the treaty, and then the people to integrate it to be one European Union identity, right? This is what we have learned. That I know I have traveled a lot in some European countries, that everyone be proud to be European people, right? So we have to learn from European Union, you know, about this, and how you create identity by introducing that European area is a place of, like I mentioned before, the place of peaceful prosperity, respect to human rights, and then we'll implement democratic way. So we have to learn that Europe has identity. Even when the enlargement, when European Union, including some East European countries, right? It is not easy to be integrated because they used to stay with socialist way of life, and then to be integrated as a capitalism, yeah, in Western European, and then changing the way in which people learning from Europe. There is no Western Europe, Central Europe, and Eastern Europe no longer, and Europe as one. You know, so we have to learn from European Union. I admire really about the process of European Union, because you know that Malaysia and Indonesia, we are very close in terms of geographically and in terms of ethnically, because we belong to Malay people actually, and we speak similar language, but we are not compatible to each other. You know that when Malaysia singing our song, some Indonesian people get angry with Malaysia, and then yes, we are not compatible actually in ASEAN community. So we have to learn from European Union that you are successfully integrated the states to be one single organization, one single regional integration. And you know that European Union is the perfect regionalism in the world, because you have achieved the full economic integration by introducing single currency. Okay, so yes, our role model in fact is Europe. Even you have problems, yeah. In the world, we always problems, and I think you solve very good in solving the problem, right? And then yes, Yuli has answered your second question, right? And then I will move to the other question. What's your name, please? Somi. Yeah. Somi, I don't get your really question, but I will try to answer about the Chinese population or Chinese dependent in Indonesia. You know that as Bu Yuli told us that we have 18% Chinese descendants. And you know, they dominated our 70% of economy. Yeah, and the Chinese people in Indonesia normally are very rich, and they can afford studying abroad, for example. And maybe you find some Chinese people traveling as a tourist in every European countries. Yes, because they dominated our 70% of our economy. And now, at the moment, I think they have chance to be active in politics after economy and then politics. And I think I will advise the government to be careful, not because we are racist, because this gap is very dangerous. You know that in 1998 there was a protest for the indigenous people, that why some Chinese people are very rich and then they destroy their shop or their company, for example, like this. This is very dangerous, right? So if to prevent the conflict between indigenous and Chinese people in Indonesia, I think the government should treat the people equally. Equally. Okay. That's my answer. Maybe my colleague will answer the other.
Thank you. I think the second question is not less complicated than the first. People-to-people relations. It has been so far, it has been so long time, people-to-people relations is not in harmony, especially between different ethnic groups, between different religious groups, between different citizenships. It's very, very sensitive in our country. The problem is becoming severe because the economic issues relating to this kind of diversities. And nowadays, and I think people-to-people relationship is becoming more complicated because of ASEAN commitment to single market. ASEAN individual member countries of ASEAN must be open because of their commitment, but unfortunately, not individual countries can solve the problems of the people, economic problems of the people. So the flood of foreigners coming to our countries, for example, have been seen as a serious threat to employment, to the economic opportunities, basically, because they only not come with just capability of services, but also come with the political protection from the mother countries. So it became very, very complicated. Last decades, for example, the foreign investment is one big problem in ASEAN countries, because foreign investment comes with high-tech technology, high skill, managerial skills, and marketing, for example. But nowadays, the investment also accompanied by human resources. The investment will not come to any individual countries unless they also bring the human resources from the original country. And this makes the indigenous people more suspicious to the newcomer. And this is now getting escalating, especially between Indonesia and indigenous people in Indonesia against the new, let's say, immigrants from China. They do not speak Indonesians, but they have a job to do because of the investment coming from the country. So it's very, very complicated. So what might be the solution to this? I think it will become more complicated if the government does not present, does not exist in this kind of problem. And many states of us tend to leave this kind, to keep their eye close to this kind of problem. So it will become a problem. To solve this kind of problem, the government must exist, must come, must be present to this kind of problem. Among the government must sit together to to create regulations to prevent the worst situations in the next future. It must not be just left to be solved by the society themselves. They cannot do it unless by violence, unless by some kind of unacceptable way of resolving the problem. So the government must come, the government must be present with the new agreement between the states in the regions. I think that's the only thing. Thank you very much.